Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Well, this 48-year-old peeping Tom in Florida was busted Monday morning by a dad who caught him hiding in the bushes, peeking into his teenage daughter's room and doing stuff to himself. That's just horrible. Mm-hmm. So the douche tried to run away, but unfortunately for the peeping Tom, and I think fortunately for everybody else, the dad was a former NFL cornerback Tony Beckham, who used to play for the Titans. So Tony knew how to tackle the dude. And,
that is awesome. Yeah. I'm so glad he picked the wrong person to mess with.
He tackled him, beat the guy up, held him until the cops got there, and here's Tony talking about the whole thing.
Right here. He was right here. He was in between, like you see right here. He was inside of here. And I waited for a second, and then I looked again. You know, he's standing by my window, and he's trying to get a better position. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is this for real? Like, I thought I was getting punked. You know, like, this is not happening to me. I called him, like, a department over there, and we just had a good conversation. Sorry it happened for him, because he's never going to do that again on this side of town. And if he was that brave to do it right here, I know this is not the first time he's done this before.
Now, he said good conversation, which obviously means he beat the living crap out of him.
That's right.
Have you seen the mugshot of the guy?
I haven't. How's he look?
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is what Tony did to him.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Tony messed him up. It looks like he might have broke his nose.
Conversation to the face.
Yeah, black eye, busted lip.
Yeah.
Good.
Good. It is good. And if the perp has really no idea that what he's doing is wrong, again, I don't understand why we as a society don't have special exemptions to go, this guy should be in a mental rehabilitation situation for as long as the doctors say he needs to be there, because why do we have to deal with this? Why would this guy ever get let out in the street again until we can be sure that he's cured or of whatever the hell it is that makes him do this? And if he does know that it's wrong, then he deserves everything he can get. Like, I get that people have impulses, but if you know what you're doing is wrong and you do it anyway, F you. You deserve everything you get.
Yeah, show him some Tony justice.
Yeah, and if he's got issues in the head where he doesn't know that it's wrong, then don't let him out. I mean, it's not good for him, it's not good for us, and yet we have to deal with this. I don't know why our lawmakers... Who would be against this? Who would be against changing whatever rules we have and making adjustments so that guys like this don't get out again until everything is set with them in a mental situation? I don't understand why we can't all agree on this.
So there's no way they can see the mugshot. If you just type in Tony Beckham, it's going to be like the first thing that you see.
Yeah,
it's like the picture of Tony who's just smiling. You know, they have a press photo of Tony, who's 40, and obviously hasn't missed a beat.
Oh,
or missed a beating.
That's right. Well, at 40 years old, I mean, Tony still looks like he's in decent shape. And you're a former NFL guy. I don't care if he's 60. I'm not going to mess with him.
And so you said, did you guys hear about that UFC fighter, Polyana Viana, that beat up Arm Mugger? We talked about that, I think, last week. And she beat up the guy so bad that he begged her to call the police.
Yeah. I love it. I love it when these a-holes run into,
they picked the wrong person.
Yeah, I love it when they run into the hero that they didn't know was waiting around the corner.
I love that Tony called it a good conversation.
Yeah, it was a good conversation.
It was such a pleasant way to say it. We had a good conversation about, hey, you can't do that.
That's how we dudes do. I mean, the conversation with a dude is, here's a fist to the face, you're an idiot. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's how it used to be back in the day. And look, I wasn't a physical guy. I'm usually
when have you done?
No, I was on the other end of it all the time. But you know what? They were good conversations. They were. I mean, you know what? I learned that, you know what? You gotta be cool. You know, and when you're not being cool, you know, I'll tell you right now, I had people had good conversations with me. That was cool. I have nothing wrong with it. And again, not being the physical type, I still don't have a problem with good conversations.
Your ears open and your mouth shut.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I've got so many friends that I had good conversations with where basically they were the ones conversing and I was the one going, okay. And they ended up being buddies. There's something about the way guys can do stuff like that. And I mean, imagine some women as well.
Like the UFC fighter.
I miss those days. It was simple. Things got done. Things got taken care of, and nobody really wanted to hurt anybody. They just wanted to have a good conversation.
Yeah, I know that. Like for a woman, if you have a fight at all and they want to be your friend afterward, it is very, very suspicious. Because I had one girl who was constantly bullying me for no reason in middle school, just always making fun of me and everything. And one day I snapped and I called her out. I'm like, "You blank and blank."
Did you call her a C word?
No, I didn't know the C word then.
Oh. That's bad education then.
Yeah.
I know. What kind of teachers did you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, at private school, you would have learned the C word.
Right.
We learned that in second grade.
I made fun of her appearance and everything. I'm like, "You bitch," and this and that. And then the next day, she was just totally cool with me. She never once again. And this girl had a foot on me. She could have pounded me to the ground.
Yeah, you know.
I saw the crazy eyes, though.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah. She's like, "You bug-eyed little freak." I'm like, "You effing bitch."
See, so, you know.
I wish I could have seen that.
Oh, and I was like 4 foot something. It was a sight to see.
Well, they say misery loves company, and sometimes people who are bullies are just miserable. And then when you give it back to them, and you know, somehow maybe they go, "Oh, you know what I'm going through," because look at you being miserable, like I'm miserable.
Right. And then she was totally cool. Like she'd even compliments, like, "Oh, you look good today," and everything. But the whole time, like, "What do you want, bitch? What's going on?"
Well, that's
like you're going to attack at some point.
See, I don't know how. I was
nice back, but I'm like, what's going on here?
Don't know how the average girl does it, but I just know with guys. I mean, you know, you get put in your place, and then everything's cool. There's that thing where the guy goes, "Hey, dude, you need to be put in your place." Then once you're in your place and realize that's where you should be, seems like guys can be cool with each other. That's at least how it was when I was growing up.
Yeah, and I put her back in her place. She added me on Facebook. I said no.
Oh, look at that. See, that's not how we guys do. We guys are forgiving.
Friend, I've never spoken to her after that.
Wow. Maybe she just wants to reconnect.
Yeah.
Why?
Because, you know,
you want to talk to me? I don't know you.
It was a bonding moment with another bee.
Yeah.
Like,
what if she's like dying
ago?
and she wants to make it up to you by giving you all of her money?
Yeah.
All the money she doesn't have. She tried out for American Idol, didn't make it.
Oh, see, that's it. So
what does that mean?
I don't know that she does. I don't know. Like I've heard things. I know who her friends are.
I love
like
the
like a Chick-fil-A or something. I don't know.
You don't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
I don't want that. That's like dirty money, dirty Chick-fil-A money.
Honest to God, I see. This is where Vicky, as cool as you are, you do sometimes think in a way my brain doesn't.
Oh,
no.
Miss Grudge,
take the money. She apologized basically by being cool.
She just wants to like go in there and be mean back. Like, what if she's like waiting?
Then you unfriend her and you'd be like, "Oh, it seems like you haven't changed."
Sounds like projection to me, Steve.
You haven't given her the opportunity to make amends.
Why do I care for her to make amends?
Yeah, why does she need to do that?
Because we're not 16 anymore.
Exactly. I don't want to be your friend. I don't have. Why do I want to be your friend? I don't want to be. I don't hate her, but I don't want to be your friend.
It's stupid Facebook. I mean, you're probably friends with people that you don't even know on your Facebook.
I know. That's why I do the whole swipe and clean out every now and then.
Wow, we can see. This is why your life is the way it is. Remember, if you're projecting, then you're basically thinking everything that's going to happen to you is what you do to people.
Is she hot?
No.
Oh, okay.
See, my brain doesn't understand that.
I mean, if she was hot, I'd say it. I'm not the person to be like, "No, she's not hot." I admit it.
I've had grudges, and I still have semi-grudges with people, but I know it's killing me, so I will still, even with the person that I still look at and go, "Oh, I feel still angry at you," I will try to have the cycle of forgiveness work out with that person.
I mean, if I saw her in the street and she said hi, I'd be nice. I'm not going to just be like, "F you, go away."
That'd be funny if you did.
That would be funny.
You just picked up where you left off.
Yeah, exactly.
We have unfinished business.
You bitch.
Wow.
I know the C word now.
Yeah. My friend Steve taught it to me.
I don't think you might as well. Yeah, Steve. At this point, it's not Vicky. There's no hope. So just teach her the C word and let her have a great time.
Yeah.
I mean, would you add like somebody like made you miserable when you were younger?
No,
like, why?
I get it. Yeah,
why?
Part of me would. I just don't remember any like those people enough. Like if someone out of my high school or from my elementary school requested me on Facebook, I would just be like, I don't even remember who this person is. Probably most of the time, I'm the worst with that. I feel terrible. Like people talk about things that we did in high school, and I'm like, are you sure I was there? Because I don't remember this. But I would probably accept them just because I kind of out of curiosity see how their life has turned out.
I mean, and I've had people.
But if she's made you miserable, I don't blame you for not accepting her.
Exactly. Like, I've had people reach out. They're like, hey, sorry about this, and this. I'm like, okay, we're cool, bro. We're totally fine. But I
thought she kind of was made it up to you, like, at the time, but you just didn't trust her.
Yeah. Like, she's like, oh, you look cute today. And so,
yeah, I mean, it seems like she was.
Do you trust a 7th grader? Like,
but how many years has it been? Has she hurt you since then?
No, but why do I want her in my life? I don't care. I don't care about most people. I'm like, I don't
care about most people.
You know what? You're allowed to be that way. Yeah. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know. I'm just like, I don't.
Just because it's fun to watch you get annoyed.
See, I'm a different guy. I think that, if you don't forgive somebody, it's only killing you. That's all I'm saying. But
this person doesn't even matter in Vicky's life. There's not an ounce of thought being put into this person. The only reason why it was is because she reached out to you. So you're like, I don't want to have to even deal with this. So it's not even about anything.
I don't know, man. It's a big memory she just brought up, so it's still there.
Well, because we keep needling her about it.
Right. And I felt pretty proud of myself for standing up for myself. That's why that rings in my brain.
I'm not faulting.
Here we are shaming you for a proud moment.
Well, I'm just like, I stood up for myself for the first time ever.
Honestly,
this little Vicky that got bullied by everyone.
The both of you are examples of therapeutic ignorance or denial. It's like, you both are. Well, you are. I mean, you're making excuses.
Sorry, we're not in your sphere of influence, BJ.
You should be in my sphere of influence.
Yes.
But I mean, the both of you are making up excuses why it's okay for Vicky to hold on to something that is not really good for her. I'm not trying to make the other person look good. You're the only one suffering from this. You're the one that brought this memory up. Of all the memories and all the great things you've had happen in your life, this one issue is still there. And I think, forgiveness is the only will help you, not them. Forgiveness helps you. It doesn't help them.
The only suffering I'm having is from this conversation.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that there, Danny Denial. Or Debbie Denial, because Danny Denial's over there behind that.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
So if she never thinks about this person and doesn't I would imagine zero thoughts have ever been put about this person until they showed up on Facebook and requested you. How is she having any issues in life with that?
I understand what you're saying. You need to talk to a professional. Because, I mean, you're not going to...
Danny,
you're not going to...
question for you.
You're not going to listen to anything I have to say, but if anybody in the therapy business was listening to this conversation, they would at least go, Vicky, you still got some stuff there because of all the memories, that one just decides, hey, look what just showed up on my brain. I got room in my brain for a lot of stuff, and when it shows up, I go, okay, I must still have stuff going on, because why do I make room in my brain for this?
I also think about, the genitalia of different animal species. I
don't even want to know what that means therapeutically.
I have ADD. I just, randomly something gets said, and it's like, random thought.
Oh, look, I'm not going to fight with you on this. I just,
we were having a conversation about people you used to have issues with in high school, so she thought of someone that she had an issue with in high school. It wasn't a very random thought. It was based off of a conversation we were having.
I haven't thought about her in 4 years since she had me.
I feel like BJ's just trying to therapy shame us.
I know.
Well, I think, look, we are in Washington State. It's an awesome place for the behavioral sciences. I'll let people email Steve or email Vicky, and they can tell you their opinion, because at least they're in the business. I'm just a schmuck that's been in therapy for 1,000 years. I'm still not a professional therapist. I just know that when I've had conversations like this with my therapist, I usually go, okay, what's going on, buddy? What's the real issue? What's the core issue? Why are you forgiving? Forgiving helps you, not them, that whole thing. I just heard it over and over, so that's what I know. But I won't fight with you guys. You guys are having a good life. What do I care?
I forgive you.
I'm having a great
thanks,
life.
buddy.
I forgive you for shaming us.
Yeah. I forgive you, too.
Oh, no. What? Well, some of you should be shamed just because, look at you. 99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Steve, your favorite magazine, the Irish Medical Journal.
Oh, yeah.
They're just
That's how I stay so healthy.
Yeah, you do. Look at you.
Yeah.
They just published a case study about a 33-year-old guy in Dublin, Ireland, who went to the hospital with severe back pain. And as the doctors were examining him, they noticed a red rash swelling on his right forearm. That ain't good. He told them it's because he'd been trying to cure his back pain by injecting his own stuff into his arm. Yeah.
All right. So when I first saw this, I was like, has the onion gone dark? What's up with this story? I did not believe this story when I first saw it.
He went and had a good time with himself, and then saved the aftermath and injected it into his arm because he thought that would cure his back pain.
Where did he get this information?
I'm
really guessing not WebMD.
Is that really rural stem cell research? Is that what he's doing? I mean, is that what he's doing?
Oh my gosh!
I mean,
it makes sense. Yeah,
it's how we do it in the country. And if you were, why would you put it in your back? Again, because when they do stem cell stuff, they throw it right where it's got to go.
Sometimes parts of your body are connected to parts that you don't even realize. When I did that muscle activation therapy with my buddy Ben Dragovan, I was battling my knee issues. He was massaging my hip, and all of a sudden things in my knee felt better. And then I was battling some shoulder problems. You massage your foot. So maybe it's the same thing.
I got to go see Ben. I keep forgetting about him.
It's a game changer.
All right. Yeah. You know what? Vicky, will you get the information? I got to make an appointment. I really do. Every time you bring up Ben and that muscle activation, I go, that's what I want because my knee has been... or either that, I could just get some stuff in my own stuff and just inject it into my knee and see how that works.
Yeah, I would imagine go with Ben Dragovan as opposed to... it's the Athletic Training Institute for anyone that wants to know. Ask for Ben Dragovan or just Drago. If you're battling any kind of ailments or if you just need your body to kind of get loosened up, he's the dude.
And Ben
I
knows
swear
his
by
stuff.
him.
Of course, former goalie for the Seattle Sounders.
Yes, he was, and he was a coach for Hope Solo, and
so he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Right. I mean, and I know people from Robbie Cano to Bobby Wagner to some big name sports stars. They go to that place.
Those are guys.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, this guy's he's no joke, Drago.
If it dies, it dies.
That's what he says when he works on your body parts.
Yeah, if it dies, it dies.
The nerve dies.
This is going to shock you. I guess this guy came up with this cure himself. That shocks me. Can't believe it.
No.
Yeah, injecting his man action into his arm to cure his back.
Well, did he at least give a reason why he thought this was a good idea?
Yeah, I'm looking at this story. He admitted to doctors, came up with the cure for himself. Been doing it for 18 months. These collections of injections just stuck in his arm and stayed there, turned into one big mass. His arm got infected with cellulitis because, his man action had leaked into his soft tissue.
What?
Yeah, basically the result of hard tissue leaked into his soft tissue. Doctors say he checked himself out of the hospital before they could help him, so he's gone before they even could fix the man action and the arm thing. This guy is just a genius all the way around.
But how's his back? That's the most important part.
That's important. Yeah, they don't say.
I like in this story, man, you got to choose your words properly. I'm reading the Daily Mail. The man discharged himself from the hospital.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
surely
Before
the doctors had a chance to remove
So they couldn't even fix what he screwed up. You got to wonder what's going on in his head. Does he think he can't trust doctors, even though he went to one? I mean, dude, what a moron.
I'm not injecting anything in me unless a doctor's doing it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I could never be a guy that uses needles.
No.
I could never be that guy. Wow. Cops in northeast Mexico got a call on Monday night about an incident at a hotel. Apparently, 3 officers in training were having a drunk threesome there, and the women got into a fist fight because the guy was focusing on one of them more than the other. Well, that is the problem with having a threesome with two women if you're a guy.
I'd walk out. As awesome as a threesome might be, if all of a sudden they're arguing, I'd be like, you guys, I'll see you later. I don't want to deal with either of you. Like, this shouldn't be where drama is. This is sex. It's supposed to be fun.
And it's always going to be drama. I mean, that's the thing a lot of dudes don't understand about the average woman is if you don't pay the proper attention, or if it looks like you really like somebody else better, it's such we did a seminar, and that was one of the things that my buddy Satyan had us do, because he would always say, a lot of guys think it'd be great to have a threesome, so let's do it right now. But instead of like the sex, what you do is you try to keep the women engaged. You tell a story and see if you can keep every woman engaged. And it was challenging because the women would raise their hand when they were bored.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was like, and then you realize, whoa, man, I think I'm telling a really good story. Stop it, ladies. I'm only trying to be cool to everybody. But they were like...
I don't know if that's necessarily a fair comparison, a conversation compared to boning.
Yeah, I'm raising my hand because I'm bored.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vicky. So funny. Well, the comparison is this. If you are paying attention to the woman, making sure that she's cool, like she's digging the interaction, that's the idea, whether it be sexual interaction or conversational interaction. If you don't have the ability to keep a woman engaged in a verbal conversation, what makes you think you're going to be able to make that happen with multiple women in a sexual situation?
Well, I mean, you could be having a verbal conversation with one woman while the other woman's having a verbal conversation with you, and then everybody's busy.
Yeah. Okay. You think it's that easy?
No, I know. Of course I don't.
I failed so badly at that seminar.
Adult films have created unfair expectations.
Yeah.
They don't show the uncomfortableness or the awkwardness. I mean, all of a sudden you just see this woman and her stepmom completely fine at doing the guy. Yeah. It makes no sense. You think they'd argue at least.
Do you think they would?
Or at least the daughter would be like, hey.
Yeah.
You're cheating on my dad.
Yeah, none of that comes up.
Never comes up.
It always seems like everybody's on board with the whole, well, I'm only your step kid, so it's fine.
Right, sure. Yeah, have your way with my boyfriend and cheat on my dad.
Yeah, that's okay, sure. Now, this story even got more drama because these 3 officers in training having that drunk threesome, the women get into the fist fight. So then the cops are called. Turns out when one of the cops got there, one of the women involved in this was his wife.
Oh, man.
How about that? How about the cop shows up to break up a drunken threesome with 2 women and one of the women's his wife? Yeah. So, of course, this cop was amazing because he kept his composure until the other cops got there to arrest all 3 of them for disorderly conduct. We don't know, though, what happened when the cop finally got home to talk to Miss Drunken Threesome wife.
Well, and how about, though, these are officers in training?
Yeah.
Man, that had to hurt their standing.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the officers, that male officer in training with I'm sorry. This is not good. Wow. Jeez. Oh. Got this woman who worked in Jacksonville, Florida. I used to live in Jacksonville, as a matter of fact. And she works at a KFC there. Recently got arrested for hitting a customer at the drive-thru with a box of chicken. There you go. Yeah. Customer service, it ain't dead.
Like I said the other day, I need to start eating at these fast food places more. I feel like that's where the fun is.
Yeah, well, the best part of this story is the guy did record it, so we thank him so much. The guy started recording her after she gave him his change, then started handing food without washing her hands or putting on gloves.
Oh.
She didn't appreciate being recorded, and the guy says she hit him in the face with his box of chicken when she gave it to him.
Now, she just got through taking our money, giving us our drinks. Now, she's fixing the food with no hairnet. Look at her hand all everywhere. Wow.
Why is you recording?
Whatever I wish. It's in America, remember? You forgot where you live? You live in the United States of America. Recording you, fixing food with no gloves, no nothing on, just take my money.
Get your food.
Got it all on tape.
Got it all on tape.
Yeah, all on tape, baby. So this is America, so we can record everybody, as I think we were saying. It's America. I can record anybody I want.
That's the Wild West. No one's going to get in trouble for that.
Wow. Again,
what's the craziest thing you've seen at a fast food place?
Dude, I have to tell you something. I so far, fast food places, I've never had incidents like this. Oh. Nothing. I haven't seen anything crazy. I feel so bad that I miss out on all this stuff.
Mine's without a doubt, and you guys should know it. Atlanta, walking into the bathroom and seeing a man in shiny blue pants and a man in shiny white pants with their zippers unzipped, docking each other.
What time was this?
1 a.m.-ish.
Yeah, okay. See, that's the thing. I need to start going out a little later to some of these places to see this kind of fun.
I got out of the car, went to get the food, came back in, sat in the back seat, and said, "Let's go." And everyone's like, "Why?" Dan, you were there, right?
No, we weren't getting food. We were waiting in the drive-thru and
that's
lift,
right.
And we all needed the bathroom because the drive-thru wasn't moving.
Yes. Wow. And I got back in the car, and I'm like, I'm not going back in there.
Yeah.
I used the women's bathroom.
I don't blame you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was like unisex. It was like a one per person kind of bathroom.
I always call those unisex, even if they're one. Yeah, if it's a one-seater, it's unisex. I don't care what the sign is on there.
Especially when 2 dudes are docking. And for those that don't know what docking is,
Google image search.
I mean, it's kind of like a Chinese finger trap.
Yeah, just think
without fingers.
Think of 2 submarines meeting in the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like 2 guys headbutting. And they're both wearing turtlenecks. Yeah. And they decide that they're going to keep each other warm by putting the turtlenecks over each other's heads.
That image is seared in my brain. Thanks, Steve.
Delightful.
Like 2 Steve Jobs, imagine.
They were doing double jobs.
Yeah. Hey, if Steve had to see it, we all have to see it, Rev.
I guess.
And you didn't really have to see it. And they made eye contact.
Oh, with you?
Yes.
Well, they were looking for a third.
I didn't give him enough time to offer. I just turned around.
You know what? There's a lot of room in this port. We have plenty of slips for you, sir.
My favorite part is we were all so drunk that Steve comes back and he's just like, "It's time to go home," because we had been waiting for about 45 minutes for food and we didn't get food.
No,
didn't get food, and then Steve saw that and was like, "I'm ready."
That sobered me up quick.
Yeah. We went to multiple drive-thrus that night in the area, and none of them served us.
Yeah. They all had signs. It was like not all, but one had sign like "Come back in an hour" or something like that.
Come back after docking.
Yeah, maybe that's what they were. It was like a siesta.
Hour.
It's a docking hour.
That's what it is.
Dockesta.
Dockesta.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. How long is a bankruptcy going to affect my credit rating?
Of course, most of the time, by the time we're talking about filing a bankruptcy, the credit has already taken a huge hit. Chapter 7 is going to affect it more negatively than Chapter 13. Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years from the time you file. It usually takes 7 or 8 years for your credit scores to get back into the normal range in a Chapter 7 case. However, your credit will start to recover even in Chapter 7 after about a year. You'll be able to get credit again right away, usually before your case is even over. Chapter 13 stays on your credit report for 7 years and usually takes about 3.5 years for your credit to get back in the normal range. So Chapter 13 will mean your credit gets better much more rapidly.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.